What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Let's get started with our first news. Dan Hooker and Arman Tsarukyan came face to face for the very first time ahead of their highly anticipated matchup at the upcoming UFC Qatar event. The moment carried a noticeable intensity, as both fighters stood across from each other with full confidence, offering a preview of the competitive fire expected on fight night. As the two athletes approached the stage, media personnel and UFC officials guided them into position. The atmosphere was charged with energy, cameras clicking, reporters leaning forward, and fans eagerly awaiting the first visual confrontation between these two dynamic lightweight contenders. Tsarukyan, known for his explosive wrestling and relentless pressure, appeared focused and composed, maintaining sharp eye contact. Hooker, seasoned, tall, and battle-tested, countered with a calm but unmistakably serious demeanor, projecting the confidence of a veteran who has faced the division's elite. Once positioned, officials asked them to face forward for photographs before turning toward each other for the traditional stare-down. The moment they locked eyes, the room quieted. No words were exchanged, but the tension said everything. Both men fully understood the stakes. A win for Tsarukyan would further solidify his claim as one of the division's top rising threats. For Hooker, it represents a crucial opportunity to reassert himself among the lightweight elite and prove that experience and resilience remain powerful weapons in the octagon. Spectators watching the face-off sensed the respect between the two fighters, even as the competitive edge sharpened. The UFC's promotional team captured every second of the exchange, knowing this first encounter would fuel excitement leading into fight week. By the end of the stare-down, it was clear that both Hooker and Tsarukyan had sent a message, not through trash talk but through sheer presence. Their first face-off in Qatar set the tone for what could become one of the most intriguing and hard-fought matchups on the card. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out, and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Islam Makhachev has officially reached a historic milestone in his career. Following his dominant victory over Jack Della Maddalena this past weekend, the UFC has confirmed that Makhachev has dethroned Ilia Topuria to become the organization's new #1 pound-for-pound fighter. This achievement solidifies his status as one of the most complete and dominant athletes in mixed martial arts today, further elevating his legacy within the lightweight division and beyond. As discussions about the pound-for-pound rankings continue to intensify, another fighter has recently stepped into the conversation: Bryce Mitchell. Known for his unfiltered personality and unconventional viewpoints, Mitchell offered his own unique interpretation of what pound-for-pound truly means. When asked who he believed was the best fighter in the world, he responded confidently and unapologetically, "Me." He explained that, to him, pound-for-pound means removing restrictions and considering a scenario without traditional weight classes. In typical Bryce Mitchell fashion, he humorously added that if rules were completely removed, he could grab a gun and kill everybody in the woods, exaggerating his point that the concept becomes meaningless when taken literally. He continued by clarifying his stance, stating that if the idea behind pound-for-pound is to imagine fighters competing without weight limitations, then theoretically he could challenge heavyweights as well. By his logic, if all limitations are removed, then a fighter's skills, toughness, and survival instincts define superiority rather than weight or size. While his comments were delivered in a comedic and somewhat absurd manner, Mitchell's underlying point reflects the ongoing debate surrounding what the pound-for-pound distinction truly represents. Meanwhile, legends like Demetrius "Mighty Mouse" Johnson have also weighed in on these rankings, adding more depth to the conversation. With Makhachev now at the top, the debate will only continue to grow as fighters, analysts, and fans discuss who truly deserves the crown. Move on to another news. Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen, two of the most respected voices in mixed martial arts, both admitted that they genuinely felt sympathy for Jack Della Maddalena during his difficult fight against Islam Makhachev. The bout showcased Makhachev's dominance, but it also revealed visible signs of pain and struggle on Jack's face, something that resonated deeply with both retired fighters. Cormier explained that there was a moment when he saw a clear grimace on Jack's face, one that unmistakably communicated, "I'm hurt." For Cormier, the reaction went beyond analyzing the fight as a commentator or even as a former competitor. He described an instinctive emotional response that came from his identity as a father. He shared that, in that moment, he felt an urge to step in and help Jack, almost as if speaking to a young man in distress. "Are you okay? Do you need something?" The expression Jack wore wasn't just the typical discomfort seen in a tough fight, it looked like genuine, overwhelming pain. Chael Sonnen echoed Cormier failure's feelings. He admitted that as he watched the fight unfold, he found himself feeling unexpectedly sad for Jack. Sonnen pointed out that Jack not only appeared physically hurt, but mentally and emotionally drained as well. His posture, his expressions, and the energy in his movements all suggested someone who was not just losing a fight, but experiencing a moment of deep frustration and disappointment. Sonnen described him as looking dejected and kind of broken, a rare description for a fighter known for his toughness and composure. Their empathy highlights how brutal the sport can be, even to world-class athletes. When seasoned veterans like Cormier and Sonnen, men who have been through wars inside the cage, feel compelled to speak on the emotional toll of a fight, it underscores the raw humanity behind the violence. Move on to another news. Demetrius Johnson, widely regarded as one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time, recently shared his thoughts on Jack Della Maddalena's performance against Islam Makhachev, and he believes something was noticeably off. According to Johnson, the expression on Jack's face throughout the fight suggested that he may have been dealing with an injury long before the final bell. Johnson explained that one of the first things that stood out to him was the persistent grimace Jack displayed. It wasn't the typical reaction of a fighter simply responding to a tough exchange. Instead, it appeared more like the expression of someone enduring ongoing, internal discomfort. He noted that experienced fighters can often spot subtle signs that something is wrong, whether it's delayed movement, hesitation, or a facial expression that doesn't fade even in neutral moments. For Johnson, Jack's demeanor raised those red flags immediately. He emphasized that he could be mistaken, injuries are a sensitive subject, and fighters rarely reveal them until much later, but his instincts told him that Jack was not performing at full capacity. Johnson pointed out that making the same strained, pain-filled face for the duration of an entire fight is uncommon unless a fighter is trying to push through something significant. Whether it was a compromised limb, a tweaked muscle, or an issue sustained during camp, Johnson believes Jack may have been battling more than just the pressure of facing a dominant champion like Makhachev. This speculation aligns with comments from other analysts who noticed similar signs. While Jack Della Maddalena is known for his toughness and sharp striking, his movement and timing seemed unusually off during this matchup. Johnson concluded that the expression he saw, consistent, tense, and clearly distressed, looked like more than fatigue or frustration. In his view, Jack might have stepped into the octagon already compromised, fighting through pain that only became more evident as the minutes passed. Move on to another news. Kamaru Usman recently shared his thoughts on Leon Edwards' shocking knockout loss to Carlos Prates over the weekend, a moment that sent waves through the MMA community. Usman, who has faced Edwards multiple times and understands the highs and lows of elite-level competition, reflected on how unforgiving the sport can be. He emphasized that MMA has a way of humbling even the greatest champions, often in sudden and dramatic fashion. During the discussion, Usman revisited some of the most memorable and painful moments in recent welterweight history. He referenced the famous knockout Jorge Masvidal suffered, a moment that left Masvidal lying motionless and transported out on a stretcher, an image that reminded fans just how brutal the sport can be. He then brought up the iconic head kick knockout Edwards delivered against him, a strike heard around the world that instantly changed the trajectory of the division. That moment became one of the most replayed finishes in UFC history and elevated Edwards into superstardom. Now, in an unexpected twist of fate, Edwards has found himself on the receiving end of a devastating finish. Usman described the knockout as visually alarming, noting that Edwards' eyes rolled back as he went down, a sign of how powerful the shot from Prates truly was. Usman acknowledged that these moments are difficult to watch, especially when they happen to fighters who have reached the pinnacle of the division. He explained that in MMA, a single mistake or perfectly timed strike can erase years of dominance in an instant. Usman closed his thoughts by reminding fans that this is the unpredictable reality of the sport. No matter how skilled, experienced, or tough a fighter is, no one is immune to the sudden finality of a knockout. You never know when it's your time, he said, a humbling truth that every fighter carries into the cage. Move on to another news. Carlos Prates, fresh off his stunning first-round knockout victory over former welterweight champion Leon Edwards, has now set his sights on an unexpected target, Islam Makhachev. Riding the momentum of the biggest win of his career, Prates made a bold and somewhat playful call-out to the lightweight champion. He claimed he would be the easiest fight for Makhachev, but in a way that was clearly tongue-in-cheek. Prates explained that Kamaru Usman, one of Makhachev's teammates and a world-class wrestler, is difficult to deal with, while he himself is different. He stated with humor that he gets taken down more than most fighters, suggesting that Islam should come fight him because it would supposedly be easy. This unexpected challenge came after several friendly interactions between Prates and Makhachev in the days leading up to UFC 322. Despite competing in different divisions, the two fighters maintained a lighthearted rapport backstage, sharing jokes and brief conversations. After Prates' knockout win, Makhachev admitted he was genuinely surprised by the result, not just because of Edwards' experience, but because of Prates' extremely relaxed lifestyle. Islam jokingly commented on how Prates smokes all day, yet still managed to deliver a clean, devastating knockout against a former champion. In footage after the event, Makhachev congratulated Prates while humorously offering him a slice of Nutella cake, reinforcing the friendly dynamic between them. He complimented Prates on the impressive finish and acknowledged both fighters as young, dangerous, and talented athletes. His surprise was evident as he reiterated how remarkable it was to see Prates overpower a champion-level opponent despite his unconventional habits. With Prates calling out Islam, half serious, half comedic, the MMA community has begun speculating how such an unexpected matchup might play out. Although unlikely, the idea has sparked conversation, inviting fans to debate whether Prates' confidence is justified or simply part of the entertainment. Move on to another news. Sean O'Malley recently shared his thoughts on Khabib Nurmagomedov's early retirement and how it may have affected his overall legacy in the sport. According to O'Malley, if Khabib had continued competing, he could have matched or even surpassed many of the accomplishments that Islam Makhachev is achieving today. O'Malley suggested that Khabib possessed the skill, discipline, and championship mindset to dominate multiple divisions, had he chosen to remain active in his career. O'Malley acknowledged that Khabib is likely proud of the success his protege, Islam, is experiencing. Watching his student rise to become a champion and pound-for-pound elite must bring him tremendous satisfaction. However, O'Malley pondered whether Khabib ever reflects privately and wonders about what might have been. He questioned if Khabib, known for his competitive spirit, ever feels he left potential achievements on the table, such as moving up to welterweight or extending his undefeated record against further elite competition. Sean tied this reflection to his own fears as an athlete. He admitted that one of his biggest concerns is failing to reach his full potential. At his current age, he feels the urgency to maximize his prime years, roughly between ages 30 and 35, by staying active, pushing his limits, and giving everything he has to his career. He stressed the importance of using this window of peak physical and mental performance, because coaching and mentorship can be pursued later in life, but championship opportunities cannot. O'Malley also commented on Islam Makhachev's skill set, arguing that Islam is talented and intelligent enough to find success even in the middleweight division. He imagined potential matchups against larger fighters, including Khamzat Chimaev, whom he described as a bigger version of Islam. O'Malley said such a clash would make for an incredible grappling contest, something he would love to see play out inside the cage. Move on to another news. Paddy Pimblett has never been shy about sharing his opinions, and this week he directed his criticism toward former interim lightweight champion Justin Gaethje. Recently, Gaethje made headlines by stating that if he does not receive the next lightweight title shot, he would consider retiring from the sport. While many fans viewed his comments as understandable for a veteran nearing the end of his career, Paddy felt differently. Pimblett said he respects Gaethje immensely and considers him a true legend of the sport, but he believes Gaethje's recent interviews make him sound, in Paddy's words, like he is acting soft. According to Pimblett, no fighter, regardless of accomplishments, is ever owed a title shot. He emphasized that the UFC is built on competition, not entitlement. You fight for your opportunities, Paddy said, noting that his own most recent victory came against a higher-ranked opponent, and in more dominant fashion, compared to Gaethje's latest performance. Pimblett also pointed out that the lightweight division is packed with contenders. He mentioned Arman Tsarukyan, who despite long periods of inactivity, remains an elite threat in the division. In Paddy's view, Gaethje cannot simply demand a championship opportunity while other contenders are also pressing their cases. Conversation then shifted toward Pimblett's own potential future matchup with Ilia Topuria. Paddy acknowledged the tension and history between the two, saying their storyline is already built in. While he openly admitted he does not like Topuria personally, he also acknowledged that Topuria winning the belt actually benefits him. If Charles Oliveira had reclaimed the title, Paddy believes he would have been forced to take another fight before earning a shot. With Topuria as champion, however, the rivalry itself creates a natural title narrative. Pimblett questioned why the fight has not already been announced or signed, saying the matchup seems obvious and long overdue. He concluded by stating he hopes the next few weeks bring clarity to the division and perhaps even secure the long-awaited showdown with Topuria.